Welcome to the Section 105 podcast. I'm your host, Jeremiah Salmonson. As always, along with the great and talented and one and only Mark Haynes, the co-host of the Section 105 podcast. At Mark Haynes NBA on X, I'm at Jeremiah Salmons. What's up, Mark? What's going on? We're doing the remote pod for Section 105 tonight. First time in our history with the remote pod. How you feeling? How you feeling about the remote?
Hey, I'm feeling good, man. I think we're gonna have a really good show for everybody today, and I look forward to it, man. We 10 games into the season. I'm juiced.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're juiced because there's plenty of teams and people who aren't juiced. Let's dive right into the Sacramento Kings and our local market. Obviously, the Kings have been the proverbial
Best team in the league.
Yeah. I mean, maybe something like that. I was gonna say dumpster fire, but I guess the best team in the league could go with that too. But they're struggling. I mean, there's no way to put it. They're 10 games in. They're 3-7. They're 1-4 on the road. 2-3 at home. Lost 2 straight. 2 blowouts. Okay, Oklahoma City came into Sacramento and blew the Kings out, and the Minnesota Timberwolves on Sunday came into Golden One Center, dropped 144 on the Sacramento Kings. Doug Christie doesn't have any answers. The players don't have any answers. No one's playing any defense. There's no cohesion on the offensive side. I mean, it's just bad, right? I mean, I think that's just an accurate view of what's happening with the Kings right now. I mean, what do you make of what's going on with the Kings? Like, I guess we'll start there. What do you make of it? Is this something they can turn around, or is this probably what's going to happen all season?
Like I didn't think it'll be this bad this soon.
Yeah.
I thought they had a chance to go out there and beat Minnesota. I actually picked them to win that game and was obviously wrong about it.
Correct.
And once the game got started or whatever, it was just like, it was a close game. What, in the first like quarter, basically. That was basically it in the first quarter. And at that point, Anthony Edwards hadn't even scored the ball. Like, so that was already a bad sign. But I just think with the Sacramento Kings team, I think it's there's too many holes in this roster. Now, obviously, we heard the crazy loud chants of, we want Keon that went on throughout the game. But I got a question for you with that. Keon, is he the answer? What difference does Keon Ellis make?
Yeah, I mean, Keon isn't the answer. I was on Matt George's podcast, the Locked On podcast earlier today, and we were talking about this. Keon obviously isn't the answer, right? Like, Keon's not going to come in and make the Sacramento Kings like a play-in team or, turn their season around. But it's hard to not see him as part of a solution. He's their best individual defensive player. And so, at least right now, I mean, especially since Keegan Murray's hurt. So it's hard to not view him as part of the solution. But, at the same time, you've got these guys and who, that just are sucking up all the minutes. So I don't know if Keon is ever going to be part of the solution in Sacramento because he's not going to play, and he's going to be a free agent after this season. And I mean, if I'm Keon, I'm definitely not, chomping at the bit to stay in Sacramento because he's not playing. So, or if he is, it's very little, and he hasn't really gotten that real long look that I think he's expecting to get. He didn't get it with Mike Brown. He got it in stretches, but didn't really get it with Mike Brown. He's not getting it with Doug Christie. So I don't know if Keon's not, of course, the answer. It's a team sport. Can't be one individual person, but you got to think he's part of what Scott Perry and Doug Christie want, right? Like, defensive minded, accountable, really sits down on that end of the floor. I mean, it's definitely a head scratcher that he's not playing in these games.
So my thing is, like, I'm not going to say that he should or shouldn't be playing, because who knows what, the front office and Doug Christie. Obviously, this is, 2 seasons in a row where, the head coach, whether it was Mike Brown or Doug Christie decided to go away from Keon Ellis. And I don't think it's necessarily any fault to him per se, but like in this situation this season, there is no Keegan Murray, right? So let's say Keon does get the minutes he deserves. I don't know if people want him to get, 20 to 25, or if they just want him to not be getting DMPs, whatever. Like, which is, I think DMPs is crazy for him or whatever, whatnot.
I think it's incredibly disrespectful, but yeah.
Yeah. But
or these DNPs until the fourth quarter is
yeah,
like
that's to me that's a DMP.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
you can't ask me to come, get in the game in the fourth. Obviously, I'm 38, but still in my prime, coach, don't put me in the fourth quarter.
Mark, you're right in the middle of your prime. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
In your prime, you're in it.
yeah, these grades may say otherwise, but I appreciate that. But no, I think the Kings have to be looking at the future. I think the King, and I'm not even saying long term. I'm saying when Keegan Murray returns, let's say you are giving Keon Ellis 20 to 25 minutes right now. He ain't gonna get 20 to 25 minutes when Keegan comes back. Now you got that same problem of figuring out who should be on the court and who shouldn't be. And that's what I think is going to continue to happen with this roster as constructed all season long. I don't think there's a fix to the problem that they have other than making some really, really big changes. I don't think a Keon Ellis off the bench or starting is a change that really makes an impact on this season. I don't think the way they keep fluctuating different power forwards, whether it's gonna be Russell Westbrook, Isaac Jones when he was there, Cardwell, whoever else they want to put there. I don't think any of those small changes matter because I think the only thing that matters is the big three, which is DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis. And until something, and I'm not saying via trade or benching anybody, but something has to happen between those three in order for this season to be turned around to whatever it could be. They're not going to be a championship contender team. So
No.
that's, obviously nobody's really thinking about that. Playoffs right now are far fetched, but if you want to be in that play in, something has to happen between those three. Actually, it ain't just those three because you got to include Dennis Schroeder in there too.
Yeah, I mean that's just looking like a terrible. It's working. It's aging like sour milk at this. That deal is aging like sour milk at this point. I mean, you have Russell Westbrook putting up the type of numbers and the performances he's putting up at $3 million a year, and you got Dennis making 15 a year, signed for the next 3 seasons, putting up really bad offensive numbers. I mean, he's won for his last 16 from the field, and he's not playing really any defense either. So, like, I mean, Doug Christie told us yesterday that, he primarily, didn't, I asked him about Dennis's shooting, and he's like, well, I don't really want to talk about that. We brought him in for his defense, and he needs to play defense, but he's not doing that either. So it's like, I hear what you're saying about the big three, and that really, I agree with you. Nothing really will change unless something changes with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're right. And like I said, Keon Ellis isn't going to save the Kings season or anything like that. But you would think that when you're in this position, and you were in this position most of last year, especially at post De'Aaron Fox, that you'd want to kind of experiment a little with the younger guys, give them some more run. I mean, obviously Maxime Reynaud doesn't really look ready, NBA ready yet. So, he's kind of bouncing between Stockton and Sacramento. I think that makes sense. But like giving Neek a little more run, giving Keon a little bit more run, obviously Keegan will play lots of minutes when he comes back, but I don't know, like if there's no future with this core, which I think pretty much everyone would agree there's no future with this core, you have to make changes. Why not be tweaking with them now? It seems to me like it's just an ego thing, or it's ownership, general management down to Doug Christie being like, hey, play DeMar, play LaVine, play these guys. And he doesn't really have a say over much of his lineups. I that kind of scene. I'm not going to say that's what's happening. I don't want to get too much into conspiracy weeds, but
I I think
It doesn't fit what he's saying. Doug says I want to be a defensive team, and he's running out non-defensive guys.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a fair assessment. I think when you look at it, because it's like, no, you can't put any of those guys on the bench, right? And I don't think it's necessarily because you can't because of egos, right? Let's say, everybody goal is to make this team better. Like they want to be a team that's not a joke. Right now, they're one of the laughing stocks of the NBA right now, and that's something they're
Right.
trying to change. From Scott Perry on down or whatever. They want to win, and in order to do that, and in order to even make a change, right? Let's say it is going to be a trade of Sabonis, Levine, or DeRozan or whatever. Those guys have to be on the court in order to make that happen. You're not trading, DeMar DeRozan or Sabonis if you're benching them. Nobody's gonna come and say, "Hey, we want to get Sabonis off your bench, and we want to start him over here." You know what I'm saying? So you would devalue him by putting them on the bench. So I think
Yeah.
those three guys, they're stuck in that starting lineup. Until you know, unless somebody commits and says like if Sabonis comes out, and obviously I don't believe he or any of them would say that unless Sabonis comes out and say for the betterment of the team, I'm going to come off the bench, and I just use it could be DeMar's,
Yeah,
Zach,
no,
whoever.
yeah. I mean, the Kings need Domas. Like,
Yeah. So
sure,
if
you bring some
DeMar
big
if
minutes.
DeMar or Zach says I'm going to do it for the betterment of the team,
Yeah,
that will help some. But
maybe though. But to your point, I don't even know if that helps. Like
yeah.
Zach LaVine is a tremendous NBA player. He's like a fringe all-star player every season. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you just decided you were going to run Keon Ellis out there and swap the Keon Ellis Zach LaVine minutes, and I know positions, whatever,
Right. Just hypothetical.
It's just hypothetical. Are the Kings better? I don't think so. I mean, maybe we haven't really seen it, but I don't think so. So it's not like it's Zach's fault or DeMar's fault or Omar's fault. It's just that they don't fit together, and they never
doesn't work. It just doesn't work. No matter how you spin it or chop it and divide the minutes up, there's going to be like I think if we took a poll of Sacramento Kings fans on what they thought we should do for the season, I think majority would say we should tank.
Oh,
We
100%.
should tank and or rebuild. One of those words, that's what everybody would say.
Soft tank, yeah.
Soft tank, rebuild.
Yeah.
But if the organization, if that is the plan, them same fans, the same media members would hate them for saying that's what we're doing. We're not worried about winning right now. We're looking at the future.
Are you sure about that?
I believe so.
I think the fan base would be on board with that because there's nothing more exciting than a future where you're actually gonna have young players and draft picks. You know what I mean? Like,
but my question would be:
every fan base wants to be Oklahoma City's fan base, but if you can't have that,
right,
you would rather be in the lottery, in my opinion. Like,
but my question would be: why do we care? If I'm a fan, why do we care that the Kings are 3-7? It sounds like they're doing what you want them to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I don't disagree.
It's like everybody wants the Kings to be competitive.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, get a top 5 pick. That's not how it works.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I think people are tired of the nonsense being spoken in public. You have the team like very explicitly saying they want to compete.
Right.
And they want to compete for a playoff spot. They want to win. Doug Christie, all he says is all that matters is winning. And I get it. He's, ex-professional athlete, professional athletes. Like, that's kind of where you have your identity, right? Is you want to win every single day. You're not going to say you want to tank, but like, why be so emotional then in post game and with so much fire and being like, this team's gonna have an identity and we're gonna sit down on the defensive end? It's like, well, why not just accept it then and stop feeding the fan base this narrative that you're trying to compete when you clearly, in my opinion, are just trying to wait out the Zach LaVine years until you can get that money off the books and move on. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. And again, no disrespect to Zach LaVine. I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything. This is just never going to work. And to your point earlier, it has to do with that top three, that trio, and something has to give with that because, I mean, 2/3 of that trio was already tried in Chicago when both of them were younger and it didn't work. So
right,
it's just none of them hang their hat on the defensive end. Like, that's not what they're known for.
Mm-hmm.
Zach LaVine talks about playing to their strengths. Zach LaVine is a prolific 3-level scorer. His strength is not defense. DeMar DeRozan is probably the best mid-range shooter of all time, or one of the best, and his skill set is not defense. Domantas Sabonis is a prolific rebounder and the ability to put the ball back up into the basket, and he has a bunch of he's great in the pick and roll. He's not like a rim protector, so it's like, again, like you're asking and you're saying you're gonna have an identity that doesn't fit what your three best players are good at.
And I think, I know we've been on the Kings a while now, but I think
Sacramento Kings Section 105 podcast is what
right.
we're trying to do. Yeah.
But what I think when I think of Doug and Scott and them saying, and maybe I can't think off the top of my head or whatever, but how I take it when they say the identity or whatever, and this may be a correction that they need to make or whatever moving forward. I don't think that like the 6 pillars and the defensive minded and all those things. I think those things are great and necessary, right? But I think it shouldn't be this team. I think it needs to be this
Clearly.
organization.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying this organization, you're not talking about the 25-26 team per se. You could be talking about next season, the season after that. Because the one thing I know about, I got a metaphor and a small story or whatever. My son was cleaning his room the other day, right? And he went in his room, and it took him 5 minutes, and his room was a mess. It took him 5 minutes to clean his room. He's like, "Dad, I'm done. Can I play the game?" I go, "Look, his floor is spotless." But me being a seasoned parent,
don't look under the bed. Don't look under the closet.
There's no way. There's no way you did this in 5 minutes. So yeah, I look under the bed. That's where everything is at. It's smushed under there. I'm like, that's not clean. I was like, clean your room. Comes back 5 minutes later. Everything is in the closet. I'm like, that's not clean. And that's what the Sacramento Kings are doing right now with this season. Or we go start Keon Ellis. Nah, that's not clean. Or we go start Russell Westbrook at the 4. That's not clean. Cleaning the room takes time, and that's what fixing this Sacramento Kings roster is going to do. It's going to take time to get it done.
I mean, that's facts. I don't think there's any better analogy you could have made for that. I mean, that's top notch. Well done, Mark Haynes. That's a perfect analogy there. Let's talk about teams that maybe can just push some stuff under the bed, and maybe they can just throw some stuff in the closet. Let's talk about, I mean, they really don't even need to. It's pretty much clean from the last time they cleaned their room, but they might have to make some tweaks here or there. The San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. I want to get into that a little bit. For one reason, LeBron James is going to be coming back at some point, and De'Aaron Fox has just returned for San Antonio. These teams are both playing well to start the season. Spurs 8-2 to start the year. Lakers 8-3. Does the addition of De'Aaron Fox and soon to be LeBron James complicate things for these teams? how much is this going to potentially interfere with their chemistry? Or are these simply, GOAT level and all-star level players coming back to their respective teams and will just continue to elevate them? Are you worried about the Spurs and worried about the Lakers in that regard?
So I'm more worried about the Spurs than I am the Lakers. But I have worry for both. I think when it comes to, we'll start with San Antonio. When it comes to De'Aaron Fox coming back, I think on paper, right, we see De'Aaron in San Antonio as the number 2 option, the go-to person in clutch time. But they were 7-2 without him. You know, Castle has been great. Like everybody has been great. Victor Wembanyama has been like the best player on the planet.
Crazy.
Now, Fox has to come in and he has to figure out where does he fit in? Like, do I impose my greatness on the team and it kind of changes thing? Or does my greatness enhance the team? And I feel like it's the same with LeBron and the Lakers, being that Austin Reeves has turned into this, people call him the best third option in the NBA or whatever. Like, but he showed, over a short span of time that he looks like a number 1 option.
Yeah.
That's sitting in a 3 spot. So being that Luka Doncic is so young, Austin Reeves is young, and LeBron is 40, soon to be 41 or whatever, whatnot. LeBron has to come in and they don't need King James, I don't think, right now. I don't think he needs to come back and be the best player in the world. I think he needs to come back. And I think this is the difference between him and Fox. I think LeBron has all the ability to come in and fill all the gaps that the Lakers need, whether it's
100%.
facilitate, whether it's rebound, and whatever the case may be. Fox is going to be a little more trickier because he doesn't have more in his toolbox than LeBron when it comes just to overall game of basketball. So I'm concerned, but I at the end of the day, I think both teams will be all right. But I'm more concerned with Fox coming in with the Spurs than LeBron with the Lakers.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not really concerned at all. I think, to your point about LeBron, he's gonna come in and fit exactly like he needs to. That is I think one of the more unsung qualities of LeBron James in his goatish career is, yeah, like you said, I mean, gifted passer, incredible court vision, basketball IQ, rebounding. He doesn't just need the ball in his hands, and that will fit right in with whatever the Lakers are trying to do when he comes back. So I'm not really worried about it at that at all. The Fox thing, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, you probably was going there, but I was gonna say, would it look bad on De'Aaron Fox if all of a sudden the Spurs season turned around when he got there?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, of course it would look bad. I mean, yeah, there's no two ways about it. I mean, definitely would look bad, but I'm not too concerned about that either. I mean, De'Aaron is one of the top tier point guards in basketball. Just because he had a really bad injury riddled season with a crumbling Sacramento Kings team last year and then was hurt to begin this season. It's not like he's a 37-year-old point guard past his prime and, towards the end of his career. Like, fine, 38. I'll say 38. So not the same age as Westbrook. Okay. Like,
I'm like, goodness.
Okay, fine. 37 was a little on the nose. But yeah.
So
Yeah.
how
Okay.
old is Chris Paul?
40, right?
He's 40. Yeah.
Like
Is he that old?
Yeah, but you get my point, Mark Haynes.
I'm just trying to figure out who you throwing shots at here. That's
no
all.
one. Let's just say aging point guard past his prime. We'll just go with that. No specific number. It's not like De'Aaron is like that. He's in his prime. He's a perennial type all-star player. I mean, if he wasn't on the Kings, he probably would have been an all-star the last, at least the year before last. So, I mean, I'm not too concerned. I mean, sure, maybe you inserting a player like that who's going to be a very key part of the offense is going to, I think there's going to probably have some growing pains, but in terms of like a slide or anything like that, I'm not too concerned about that. I just think it's going to be two teams that get even better. And you look at the top of the West now, you've got the Thunder at 10-1 as we record this on a Monday night. Spurs at 8-2, Nuggets at 7-2, Lakers at 8-3, and then you got Rockets, Wolves, Warriors, each with 6 wins. And I mean, it's the West. It's crowded.
Yeah.
It's super crowded. And I don't know. Somehow you got the Kings in the 12 spot. 3 teams worse than the Kings.
Yeah, and that shows you right there. Although that they're 3-7, they still have a shot at the play-in.
Nah.
They have a shot. They're right there. Like the West. The West is that deep, and is the margin to turn things around is still there. So it's only 10 games. What if the Kings start a run tomorrow
Yeah,
against the Denver Nuggets?
that's the crazy. Well, that's not going to happen. But the crazy part about it is, yeah, they're a half game back of a play-in spot right now. They're 3-7, but they're a half game back of the play-in. So it's like, I mean, what are we doing? I mean, and the teams below them, the Jazz, Mavs, and Pelicans, just have not been good. I mean, speaking of teams that you might be actually concerned about, let's talk a little bit about the Mavs. Obviously all the fanfare and excitement this offseason with the drafting of Cooper Flagg. Obviously very exciting stuff for the Mavericks organization, but Kyrie is out for the foreseeable future with that catastrophic leg injury that I did witness actually in person courtside in Dallas last year. I'll just throw that out there.
I like how you
Terrible.
celebrated that.
No, it was terrible. No, don't put that on me. I didn't celebrate that at all. I like Kyrie. I'm a huge fan of Kyrie.
Sheesh.
But yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal to watch. But so obviously still without Anthony Davis for now. So they're beaten up, they're bruised, they're battered.
They had the fire Nico chant going on today.
Yeah, I mean, so they're 3-8. I mean, where do they go from here? Are you ready to say that the Mavs season is over, or are you maybe cautiously optimistic that when they get AD back and Coop gets going with them, even though they'll probably be without Kyrie, Clay finds something, and what do you think about this Mavs team?
I think they're like how I don't want my steak if I'm getting a steak, which is well done. I don't want my steak well done, and
Oh,
that's why I
good. I
think
thought
they're.
you were going to say you want it well done. I'm like,
Absolutely not.
we
But
can
this
hang
team
up.
is well done. They're done. They're finished.
Oh, they're cooked.
They're cooked
Oh,
thoroughly.
okay.
Well done. And I think they looking at guys already like what's the name? This rookie class that's coming in. Was it AJ Devontae?
Yeah.
Like those guys that got Cooper this year. They can go get Boozer or who, like it's some studs out there that make a lot of sense. I don't think the Dallas Mavericks are going to do anything this year, but I do think their future is going to be bright. I think as long if Nico sticks around or whatever, I think he's going to get a whole lot of apologies because it's the same in OKC when Presti started trading away Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, like just letting guys go. Everybody hated it. Nobody thought it was a good idea, and now we see what they have now.
Yeah,
I
but OKC wasn't in the position that the Mavs were. OKC wasn't Luka Doncic, you know, almost guaranteed playoff team making deep runs.
with Russ and KD and
Well,
Harden.
yeah, but that was further in the past than I think you're giving it credit for. Like
Well,
that was
it
2 years
didn't
ago.
happen. It didn't happen all the same season. Yeah, like first Harden left, then it was the KD, then Russ was later because Russ was the standalone star for
Right.
what about a season or yeah, I think it was about a season or two maybe.
Right.
But
Exactly.
But yeah, it was a process. But I think it could be similar. I think you got the number one pick. You got Cooper Flag, who looks like he might be a generational talent, and you could potentially get that next year. And then also you get Kyrie back, and also you get Anthony Davis back. The Dallas Mavericks, I think, are going to be in good shape when the dust settles, when everybody's healthy, when everything clears up. I think they're gonna be in really good shape. But is Nico gonna be able to stick around? That's the big question.
I mean, I think it just depends on if he can pull off some more magic with the lottery, right?
Right. Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
can, if he still has his guy at the lottery that he can send over another gift to, so he can get that pick. But no, we're
Yeah.
obviously joking.
They keep losing. He won't need that magic.
No, I mean, it's hard to it's hard to fathom. All right, one more thing before we go. Again, Section 105 podcast, Jeremiah Solomon, Mark Haynes. Hit that subscribe button down below. Follow us on X. Support the channel. We appreciate that. The Detroit Pistons are 9-2, Mark Haynes.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on the future of the Detroit Pistons this season? They are towering over the Eastern Conference as we speak. Is that going to stay the case, or are they going to fall from grace, so they say?
The Detroit Pistons.
All right, you got to center yourself. You got to.
I was trying to get close to the mic so you can hear me clearly. But the Detroit Pistons are the best team in the Eastern Conference, and that's not changing.
Wow. Okay, you heard it here first on Section 105. So the Detroit Pistons are the best team in the East. I could see it. I can see it. Yeah. Okay. I don't hate that.
In my very, 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 very early prediction, OKC Detroit in the finals.
Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That's where we're going. 10 games into the season, Detroit is in the finals. 10 games into the season.
I mean, we are 15% of the season, so it's not a small. It's a small. I would say it's definitionally a small sample size, but it's not enough. But it's not a nothing. 11 games in for them, it's not nothing. They won a big overtime win tonight, actually. 137-135. Yeah,
I was watching that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, good team. You know who we should have on? We should have on our friend Hunter Patterson. With the Athletic. He writes and covers the Detroit Pistons now, I believe.
He might be the lucky media member that wherever he goes, that
honestly
team wins.
Yeah, because
when he was here
after Beam Team 1, right? It was Beam Team 1, yeah. He left the Sacramento market after Beam Team 1.
He took the good vibes to Detroit,
and they immediately became a fun, team.
I mean, the playoffs.
The Detroit Pistons, Sacramento Kings fans will know this. The Detroit Pistons are the team that really actually knocked out the Sacramento Kings and started this spiral. It was that failed closeout by De'Aaron Fox in the corner that Jaden Ivey hit that cost the Kings an embarrassing loss at home. I believe it was their 5th straight or 6th straight.
Yeah, something crazy.
And the next day, Mike Brown was fired right after we talked to him at practice. So, to your point, the stars aligned to really.
It's all Hunter's fault. That's what it is. That's fault. We gotta get him on the show just so we can confront him about that. He left us in purgatory and took the vibes. We gotta. I'm gonna hit Hunter up tomorrow. Matter of fact, we gotta settle this.
I'll clip this and add him on X so he can see what he's done to the city of Sacramento. But. All right, well, bold stuff on the 3 in the Paint remote edition tonight. Not 3 in the Paint. What am I saying? Section 1.
Oh man, look out!
That's why
Shannon Sharpen.
I know that's crazy. That's my first slip up of the new podcast. But Section 105 podcast. Jeremiah Solomon, the host, along with the co-host Mark Haynes. It's been a pleasure, Mark. We'll be back with another fun-filled episode next week. Until then, stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, and we'll see you next time.